Hello, beautiful beings. So I'm doing a little project right now, but I just have so much swirling around, like two things specifically that sorry I'm spitting, that I really wanted to talk about. So I'm gonna see if I can record and talk to you at the same time. Okay, so, ancients, what should I start with? Christmas or scammers? Christmas or scammers? Scammers. Okay, so I am, as I have said, very sensitive. And, you know, I really want to see the best in everybody. However, there's a poem that I wrote a long time ago. I don't have it anymore, but I remember part of it. The very first part of it was, they're reflecting in your eyes. Is that you I see? Or is it now my very soul that's looking back at me? Yes, okay. So I recently got friend requested by a gentleman in India. At least that's where I think he is. I don't know. And, you know, right away it's like, okay, India, he's a scammer. Well, I'm not a scammer. So I like to give people the benefit of the doubt because not everybody is a scammer. So, you know, and I'm like, it's really good practice for, for sharpening my spidey senses to know that, you know, I'm hearing them and trusting my intuition. And so, okay, so I spoke with this gentleman for about a week, like 5 days. And, you know, I was just like, no, he's definitely a scammer. But we were having such amazing conversations. Because he was mirroring me what I wanted to talk about. And so I told him I felt like he was a scammer in the beginning after about a week. And then, I let him convince me otherwise. And so I've been talking to him for 2 more weeks. And I blocked him this morning because I absolutely know that my instincts are right on about him. And, you know, of course I didn't give him anything, and he never asked for anything. But like Miss Kyla, my youngest daughter, said, it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time until, you know, some crisis happens, something happens where he needs my help. So, you know, once there's lying involved, and I can feel that there's deception because all of a sudden I'm starting to think about things. I'm moving up into my head instead of just this amazing heart space I felt like I was in with him. And then I start moving up into my head, and before I would think that it was maybe just, you know, some insecurity that I was still working on, because I used to be just hideously insecure. And so, but that's not the case anymore. I'm not insecure. The only time the feeling of insecurity comes up in me is when I'm starting to identify with my thoughts. And I recognized that about 4 years ago. I was in the tent. I was living in a tent for a few months, and I had that realization one day. So you know, he tried to say that I'm recording. He tried to say that he just thought it was me having some issues. And, you know, that's a dead giveaway right there. If you're calling a guy out on his crap, guy or girl, there's women scammers too. But if you're calling somebody out on their crap and they just keep talking in circles and won't give a straight answer, and if they like deflect it back to you, oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And he tried to do that. And he also tried to use extreme kindness, like, you know, you help give me strength, and you know, I've just never met anybody like you, blah blah. We all want to feel special. That's the personal identity. Wants to feel very special. And so it wants to believe, you know, what people are telling them. So that's just the part, you know, it just, you know, I'm in acceptance of it, but it just still makes me sad that there's people like that in the world. Because I've been so trusting. But, you know, once again, they are my greatest teachers, the people like that. They are literally some of my greatest teachers. Because without them, how would I have learned to go, wait, no, that's not right. And to actually trust myself, my instincts, what I'm hearing, my own true voice, the Creator's voice, the divine. I hear that so much more loudly than what my person thinks it needs. Because that's the only reason I would have hung in there before when I didn't trust my instincts, is because my personal desires were so much more loud than what is. I only want what is. I don't want something that my personal identity has constructed and thinks it needs for fulfillment. Because it's just not true. So I didn't call names. I just spoke my truth, and I wasn't even going to block him because we had such amazing conversations. I know that that it couldn't have possibly been all fake, because he is a divine being also, and he's experiencing a certain level of amnesia. So, I said, I'm not going to block you because I do believe in you, even though I know that you're lying and, you're trying to scam people. So, he kept trying to, do what they do to try to get you to believe that you should not trust your instincts. Of course, don't trust yourself, trust me. That's just ridiculous. So, I actually did end up blocking him, and I feel so much better about it. So anyway, on to Christmas. Yesterday I heard that on Monday, over $3 billion was spent on stuff online for Christmas. I'm making a video. Aiden, you want to say hi? Come on, look into the camera here. Bye. So I raised my girls from the time they were 6, 5, and 2. And, I didn't have a lot of money to buy presents for people. I got my daughters 1 or 2 presents apiece. And then they got the rest of their toys from Toys for Tots, which was a huge lifesaver. I got mud in my hair. That's all right. My girls were raised with not a whole lot of material things, but thank goodness they told me later that they always felt loved. They may not have had all the popular stuff that the other kids had, but they always felt loved. I know I just repeated that, but that's just, what more could you possibly ask for? So, okay, here, let me remove you a little bit. So, I just want to tell you that if you're a single parent and you've been conditioned, like the rest of us have been conditioned, at least where I live, to be conditioned to think that you have to spend a bunch of money on people so that they will know that you love them, it's just not true. It's just a belief. And, there's nothing wrong with getting people some presents, but to feel guilt, I used to feel guilty for so long, so many years, because, hi guys, because I believed that unless I was able to get people these presents, I wasn't good. I didn't feel like they would think that I didn't love them, but I didn't know any better. I didn't know that it would have been okay for me to say, hey, guess what? I'm raising 3 kids by myself. I don't have money for presents for anybody. I don't know why, but I was never able to go that far in my thinking. I just Christmas was just torturous every year. It was crazy because before I got the book, Heal Your Body by Louise Hay, I didn't know about the thoughts creating the disease in my body. And 2 Christmases in a row, when my girls were really little, we all got the flu. All 4 of us. Oh my gosh, that was just crazy. But looking back, and after I got that book, and I looked up the mental cause of the flu, it was just right on about the holiday season. Absolutely right on about that. So, you know, is there anything else that we need to say about Christmas? Every holiday is a made-up holiday. It's made up. And I know I'm stating the obvious, but it's true. I think people forget this. Somebody, some other person, sometime, for whatever reason, yeah, a lot of it has to do with money, of course. Somebody made up every single holiday that there is. So whether I follow these holidays and celebrate them, you know, is up to me. It's my choice. It's not mandatory. So please be careful with yourselves, with scammers. If you're as sensitive as I am, it goes against who we are, because we want to believe that everybody's good. I know that sounds very naive, but there's such a deep desire. Well, oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so they're saying it's there, because as I'm saying it, it's like, well, that seems completely and totally naive. But they're like, no, because I can see their beingness, because I'm seeing from there now. Well, we're always seeing from there, but I'm consciously seeing from, you know, my place of awareness of just being. And so I can see that in everybody else too. But I can also see where they're at in their person mode, in their personal evolution. So, you know, it might feel really mean because they're so good at guilt tripping. I mean, so good at it. It literally hurt this morning when I blocked him. It hurt because I was like, why? You know, I was talking to the ancients all the way through it, and I was just like, why do I have this sense of guilt even though I know that he is lying to me? Why? You know what? Why? And they're like, well, because it's a natural response when somebody is saying, but I love you so much, you know, I thought we were getting along so great. And they're acting like they don't understand, but your gut alarm, you know, absolutely know that they're lying, but it sounds so true. Well, that's normal. That's totally normal to feel that guilt. But the challenge, you know, is really to not act on that guilt, to immerse it in silence and just take my time with it. Not like, oh, well, you know, because that's when I get up in my head, is when I get those feelings. Wait, you know, no, and then you're just back and forth, ping pong, trying to figure it out. No, that is person mode. That is one giveaway right there, one sign that I'm walking into a bad situation. If I'm spending way too much time in my head trying to figure it out and figure out what he just said, because it kind of seemed confusing, but not. So there's lots of, if we can really learn to listen to our bodies and to listen, well, you know, listen to ourselves. There's so many different ways that we can hear ourselves. So, let me take you over here with me. Ancients, is there anything else you would like us to talk about? This is not what I do for a living. Even though I've done a lot of this in my life, I am just helping Beauty out, my middle daughter. And I really love doing this stuff. So, I think that's it for now. Yep, I just saw the little hourglass. So, I love you so much. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to talk about in the comment section, or you can email me at songwithmamag@gmail.com.